Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 5 a.m. on Saturday in London. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California, and tonight we have a crunchy topic called Top 5 Cybersecurity News, spearheaded by Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Cliff.
No rain.
No rain.
Over a week.
Wow.
Take advantage of it. Don't buy anything.
The skies are returning. Where were they?
All right, we'll be back in 8.3 seconds. Back by popular demand, Jeff will discuss several recent events in cybersecurity and what they may mean to you. What do certain terms used in the news mean, and how do these events affect you? Most major cyber gangs attack big companies, but there are a number of smaller players out there too. And even if you're not the target of like these big companies, you can still be a victim. There have been several attacks against water processing plants, one of which made the news, and power companies across the world. How do they keep getting in? Jeff, how do they keep getting in?
Well, the two most common ways. Hey, Scott.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll show him. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yep. Okay, so there's two ways they get in. One is tricking someone on the inside. Actually, there's a number of ways.
So that's what they used to call that.
Social engineering.
Social engineering, yeah.
And then another common way is someone who reuses their passwords.
So explain that a little more.
Well, yeah. Let's say.
Thank you.
They hack Cox, just to pick on them, and they're an ISP.
No clouds.
So let's say they hack an ISP and get the customer database, and it includes passwords. Well, what they do is they take that database, take every email in there, and then spray it across all of the different websites and see if that email password combination are used there.
Oh.
So reusing passwords isn't good. And, and that's a good reason why last time I showed you, have I been pwned?
Right.
Because it shows whether a certain email, address at a certain website has been found in the databases of hackers.
And I suppose it's easy enough to build a little program that'll just go out there and.
Yeah, and they don't even have to target someone in, say, the water plant. They can target someone who makes the equipment in the water plant.
Wow. Okay.
And then figure out the passwords to get into the equipment that's in the water plant that way.
Okay.
And that's what they call a supply chain attack. Basically, you hit it somewhere above, where, before where the water plant is, and it filters itself in. They've even gone so far as hacking into the software developers of the equipment and putting backdoors in the equipment, sneaking the backdoors into the equipment.
Okay. And if you don't know what a backdoor is, it's
a way for someone to get in. So
yeah, it's a quickie way to bypass a whole bunch of security stuff. Oh
yeah.
Oh, you would kill me.
What?
Well, he's saying his combos are probably.
Oh, yeah.
Easy to fix.
By the way, combinations of the word password are in the top 10 most used passwords that they found.
I bet they're in the top 5. Right after 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. There are variations on that too.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the top two.
Okay.
So a supply chain attack is, they hack the company that supplies the software for the equipment, and then the equipment maker gets that software. Then it gets in, and then sometimes they go even farther.
Jeez.
Software isn't made by only one company. They reuse bits of it.
Yeah.
So they might just hack like a portion of that software that's made by a third party.
Something popular, no doubt.
Yeah, something popular that's basically used by a lot of different software companies because it's useful. They hack it, put the backdoor in that, or just a vulnerability. And then that gets used in the software, which then gets used in the equipment, which then gets sold to the water company.
And I'm guessing that it has to be equipment that's after the...
internet facing.
Oh.
Because...
oh, they would get an update.
Yeah, so that they can get updates. So
your computer gets an update.
And one of the things that they found is that all of the equipment in the water companies has all been internet facing or had other internet facing equipment that allowed them to get to that equipment.
Okay.
And as to why does a chemical processor in a water, in a municipal water company have to be internet facing? It does not. The reasons are
the thing we do, though.
The reason are because it was installed with the default of connected, so that the manufacturer can get into it easily, and not taken off the default, which means that it probably still has the default password, which they found in a number of cases. The other possibility is that you've got a micromanager who just can't go, without being able to at 2 a.m. check to see the levels of whatever chemical or something.
Far out, man.
So those are the two reasons why they're internet facing, and
it should be, there should be a way to isolate it.
Yes.
That seems pretty basic to me, but
yes, it is pretty basic.
Okay.
It's a step.
Yeah.
It's maybe 3 steps, but it's a step.
Still, if you want to protect your whatever it is.
If they don't do it, they don't do it.
There's probably some cost involved.
Yeah, 15 minutes worth of work.
But you got to pay the person doing the work, and
and it's installed that
properly.
Yeah.
And, okay.
Yeah, lowest bidder. That's how that gets in.
Well, because the IT team could probably do that themselves, right?
Water companies are not known for their heavy databases or IT use.
Yes.
And so their IT guy is typically the person who has most experience being able to turn on a computer.
I see. At the plant.
Yeah. And then they hire consultants.
Probably too.
They hire consultants if...
oh, that sounds like
if Joe, I'm good with computers, can't solve it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not the best, and this makes them low-hanging fruit, but it also means that, and this happened a couple of years ago in Florida, where some 14-year-old bozo got into one of the plants and jacked one of the chemicals way up. And if it hadn't been caught by a manager who saw that the levels were up, then it would have killed a good chunk of that city.
Whoa. Was it the same city the kid was in?
I don't believe so.
Because that would have... wow.
But yeah, so that is...
they find the kid and arrest him?
Oh yeah.
Oh good.
Yeah. Because like I said, 14-year-old kid did not hide his tracks. In fact, bragged about it.
Oh well, yeah.
And so
I can see that.
So yeah,
and when he gets out, they'll probably hire him to make sure it doesn't happen.
It showed how vulnerable these things were, which means 2 years later, when foreign state actors start doing it,
okay,
To a whole bunch of water treatment plants that had not been updated in the 2 years.
What?
Yeah, they found a problem and decided that it wasn't my problem. That happened in Florida, not here.
I
Well,
guess the people had to die before it was a problem.
well, fortunately, there were people watching for that, you know, and so they caught it.
Okay.
And there was some damage, you know, and there have been other instances where they've gotten into other equipment, like let's. I don't think it was Ford, but let's just pick on them because my family was a Ford family, so I know the company. Let's say some of the car manufacturing equipment was inadvertently left internet facing.
Okay.
They get in, and let's say the stamper, they turn it up to maximum pressure, which would basically break the stamper, which would basically shut the plant down until they fix it.
Okay.
You know, because a stamper is a huge piece of metal. You know, there's a huge pieces of metal, huge, I mean, bigger than this room,
Oh.
stamping out the shapes of things, you know, for a car. And that goes belly up and everything stops. You know, so there are a number of things like that that have been going on. But
Wow.
one of the ways, and then another way, and if you could show my screen.
Absolutely.
Because this is an example. I got this not too terribly long ago.
That's
Like,
you got it at work by email.
6/3.
Yeah. Just 4 days ago.
Yep. And this is an email, and this is the same format I've seen of other attempts on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they give, now this one, it doesn't have some looks legit email address. They just have my own domain here, which is actually pretty smart. If this was a bigger company and I didn't know everyone in it, I might think, and if I wasn't the IT department, I might think that this is from the IT department.
I see. Okay.
And it says, please note that, you know, this email address authentication expires here. Click this.
Like the day before, which is
Right. Yeah. Which, you know, sense of urgency. Oh no, click. Then it's oh no. Because this went somewhere bad. And there's no possibility to click anything here because I made a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
Because my system won't let me send anything this sketchy. So I can only do screenshots.
And your company is how many people?
5.
5 people. Okay. So.
Yeah.
And you know them all.
I know every single email address in the company too.
Got it.
But one of the interesting tricks on this one is that it wasn't just this button. The entire body of this message was clickable.
So even if you kind of accidentally, as you're scrolling around,
click on something,
clicked on it, and
you get bit.
You're out. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Ouch.
But this, I wanted to show this because this is a very common format. So if you notice, hi so-and-so, please note whatever their excuse is. A blue button like this that says continue, or I've seen it orange, but essentially, and then another line here in regards. This is a format that I've seen a number of them use. So if you see anything that looks even similar to this, it's not legit.
Okay. So at least they're formulaic in this instance, and you can go, oh, wait a minute.
Now, will they stay this formula?
Probably not.
No. As soon as it stops working, they'll do something else. But for now, this is a good way. And if you hover over this link, it actually went to GoDaddy, which GoDaddy processes, you know, some email addresses. Some of the email addresses are hosted at GoDaddy, which is a good guess on these people's part, except that I think that GoDaddy is vile, and so does everyone else in our office, and would not touch it with a 10-foot pole. But it was a good guess, which means that they're getting really good at making something that might pass.
Wow. Yeah, it's very annoying how good these scammers
Mhm.
are getting
So hover over
at
the link.
all kinds of things.
Yeah, hover over the link.
Don't click on it.
Yep.
No clicky. I think we talked about that
Mhm.
last time, right?
Mhm.
Cliff says, I was a die setter and press operator for many years, and changing settings in a metal press can not only smash things, people can get killed. And yes, it's happened.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't just
Yeah.
tomfoolery. This can be very dangerous, according to the things we've heard just in this. And I'm sure other people have much more imaginative ways to mess with things on purpose.
And I couldn't find it, but there's and this is something that drives me nuts. So, and I did not have it in here. And I'm really upset with myself now because I forgot it when I was setting this up and I couldn't find it. Oh no, maybe it is here. Here, let me find it.
Let me know when you
Okay.
got it. Did you find it?
Yeah, hang on. Let me see. It's the Unicode thing. Let me see.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these.
So
what does Unicode mean?
Okay. Yeah, I don't have it, so I'll just have to describe it to you guys.
That's good too.
Unicode, if you've heard of ASCII, it's the same sort of thing. It's like a more robust version of ASCII. Oh. It is a number code associated with each letter, number, and symbol that can be shown.
So it's sort of a compressed thing, right?
Right.
So like although ASCII has no sense, as in cents, dollars, and cents. Like if you wanted to do a dollar sign, it might be an O1 or something. Right. Whatever it would be, it would be an ASCII code.
Right.
That would produce a dollar sign when it was typed up.
It's 2 hexadecimal characters.
Yeah.
Is ASCII.
Oh, hex. Okay, I know hex.
That's, and extended ASCII is
0 to 16.
4. Yeah.
Or 0 to
0 to 15.
15, which gives you 16 characters hexadecimal. And since you only have 0 through 9, it's going to go A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah.
Yeah. Unicode is in the same format except that it's longer. Oh. So it can have more
3
characters.
I
think it's 4.
Oh, hex. Okay, and is that hexadecimal as well?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually 4 because.
Okay.
The bad one.
Sounds a little more secure, actually.
No, it just no.
Okay. I don't know.
In some ways, it's worse because one of the codes in there, 202E.
Okay.
Will reverse everything following it for display purposes only.
Right, you told me about this.
So, and this is why it kills me that I didn't get it here for the show. So you can have what looks like a file, like someone sends you an attachment that looks like something .exe .pdf. That's what you see. But they reverse the last letters, so it's actually .pdf.exe is what the computer sees.
An executable file.
Now, why they have a code in there and why they implement that code that changes what you see versus what the computer sees.
That's stupid.
I mean, yes, okay, they want to implement Unicode because they're geeks. They want to implement all of it because they want to prove how geeky they are. However, they're just proving how stupid they are. I don't know why Windows, Apple, any browser, any email program acknowledges that Unicode. It should be stripped out because it just helps the bad guys fool people into loading fake attachments.
Okay.
That
sounds kind of rough.
I loathe that. I just, because it would be so simple to just ignore that one Unicode because they would have had to program that in.
Yeah.
To follow that Unicode.
Was there a useful reason to have it? Is that why it's in there? I mean,
maybe.
Okay.
But none. I mean, it would allow them to do some tricks in internal coding, but since it's for display purposes only, it's just a geeky, hey, I got this in there and I can play around. Well, okay. Now the bad guys can play around and send mail that looks like it belongs there.
Oh, hey, Bashir.
Hi, Bashir.
Welcome. It's been a while. Great
Yeah.
evening to you as well.
So,
Thank you for joining us.
so how do you detect that Unicode's in there? You can't,
Oh, no.
because it doesn't display.
Okay.
So what you need to do is, when there's a .pdf or .whatever, .doc or whatever, look at the characters that immediately precede it. Is it exe, cmd, something that looks like it could run a command?
Okay.
Because if it is, then there's a chance that they got repeated. Because why would you have a .exe, .pdf?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? So just look for it.
But you kind of have to be a programmer to know that.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying something.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying something.
Good. Excellent.
Because there is no reason for that to be implemented, because it just makes it harder to find the bad stuff.
Mm.
So, if you see something that looks suspicious,
it probably is.
No clicky, okay?
No clicky.
I used this last time. Just no clicky, okay?
Yeah.
When in doubt, don't click.
What's your rate? Can they call you?
They could actually. That email address that I showed actually gets to me.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, if you have something suspicious, let me know. And if it truly is bad, I'll pass it on to I spend a fair amount of my time tracking down the domains that contain the bad stuff, so that I can contact the domain owner or the registrar to let them know. So,
that sounds useful.
And I don't get a lot of response, except for European Union.
Ah.
They respond within an hour.
Wow.
And given the time difference, that's probably nighttime. But so
yeah, I think it's 7 hours ahead of us.
So they're really on top of it. So yay for them. I wish more people were like that, but yay. So more news. After I've got my rant out of the way.
Share? Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Fake news. Everyone's heard that term. But these companies, OpenAI, Meta, TikTok, which amuses the heck out of me, crack down on covert influence campaigns. Basically, yes, it's not just rumors that this happens. It is known. And China, Iran, Israel, and Russia.
Surprised we're not seeing Romania up there too, aren't there? A lot of...
No, Romania's not really that big into it.
Okay.
Russia is. Yeah, China, Iran is. North Korea's pretty big on it too, but they're more interested in making money than playing with our news cycle.
Oh, I like it. Jeff is our internet cop. Ooh.
Oh, I wish. I wish.
That's good.
There's things that I would do that would go against a number of different treaties if I was allowed to. But it would help. I.e., send a virus that wipes out the Chinese college servers.
Oh. Because
in China, a lot of the college, most of the hacking that comes out of China comes from the college students and is run by the Chinese government.
CCP. We got a comment. You ready?
Sure.
Scott says, more like internet mall security.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a mall cop. Yeah. Sorry.
Thanks,
Scott.
Considering I don't have power to do anything except complain, I'm more like a mall Karen.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't say that. Okay. Oh, should I share again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
looks like you're ready.
Yeah. So just basically because I in the headline, I promised to share different news sites. So, um, the good, bad, and the ugly. This is a really good one. It comes out once a week, and they have the good. Basically, two major botnets taken down between DOJ and Europol. Now, what is a botnet? It's a group of hacked computers or devices
He's doing this.
that are used by the bad guys. Two uses that, well, there are a number of uses. One of them is they can do cryptocurrency mining on the devices. So if your computer's infected, they can throw cryptocurrency packets at it and have you spend your electricity.
Your computer.
Yeah.
It probably only runs it when you're not.
Right.
Heat as well.
Right. And here's the thing.
Like SETI at home used to.
If they've got 100,000 devices, then that's a significant amount of processing.
Yes, it is.
They also use it for distributed decryption. Okay. So they get a decrypted file, they throw it out and have multiple computers working on it.
Okay, so it's sort of crowdsourcing.
Yeah, crowdsourcing using other people's. Yeah. They also, the earliest uses for them was DDoS attacks, which were denial of service, distributed denial.
Flood.
Yeah, where
what was
they just
email
flood
messages or something.
No, they just flood internet packets. Because everything gets sent on through the internet in packets.
Right.
And they usually send them malformed, so that the receiver not only gets a bad packet, but gets one that it doesn't know how to handle. And so it takes extra time. And
so would jam up the works.
Yeah, and so it's just to jam up the works.
Yeah. Okay.
But also now is remember how I said if they get a if they hack someone and get a list of email addresses and passwords.
Yes.
They then use their botnet to spray those passwords. Also, because also they'll take a password. Let's say they find a password that looks good to them. It's like, or not a password, but an email address.
As in popular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elon Musk at Tesla.com or something like that.
All right. Yeah.
Now they can start spraying password guesses. Now the trouble with that is that most servers, after 3 or 5 guesses within a short amount of time, from the same account, from the same location, they'll
IP
say
address,
nope,
really, right?
Nope. They'll just lock the account. Now, let's say you've got a botnet of 100,000.
Oh, they can all try at once.
Or here's the thing: they have a list of 100,000 different people, and they go through that list. I mean, they can do that over time and save themselves time, give themselves many more chances of cracking that password.
Wow. And
so that is why you don't want to reuse passwords. It's why, and so the most important password that you have is your email password.
Okay.
Because what happens if they get into your email?
They get everything.
What can they do with just about any other website out there? Forgot password. Where does it go? Usually email. If they've got your email, now they'll probably do this at about 2 a.m. your local time. So they control your email. They get that, forgot password email. They click on it, do their thing. Then they delete that email from your email and then go into your deleted folder and delete it from there. So you'll never know that's how they did it.
Ouch.
So your most, your bank passwords are a close second. Your financial passwords, but your biggest one, the one that leaves you vulnerable to just about everything, is your email password. Now, some places use 2FA, where they send you a text or something, or that's good because that.
Or if it comes from a different IP, they'll say, hello.
Yeah.
But they could delete that too if they're in your
email. Yes, exactly.
Yikes.
They would have to text you. So, so this is why protect your, you know, the most important password that you have is your email password,
Okay.
which means
Yikes.
don't, if you're using Gmail or something else that's web based, don't have your browser memorize your password.
I don't do that.
Right.
I never do that.
Because
Never did.
if someone gets on your computer, either physically hands on keyboard or
Virtually.
they remote onto your, they somehow hack into your computer, in which case you're kind of screwed anyway. But because they can always put a keylogger on there and get any password that you type. But if it's stored in your browser, those are stored. You can export those out of your browser into clear text, into an Excel file. You can export them into an Excel file. And what do? They grab it. Wow. So if you really, really want to be secure, and I almost hate saying this because it's eggs in one basket, but a password manager. Because those, you have to remember one password, make it a doozy. And when you're logged into that, whenever you get to a website that wants a password, you can just hit your password manager and it'll stuff the password into it. And you can create a 24 character total random gibberish password that you'll never remember because you don't have to, because the password manager remembers it.
That's okay.
And every single password can be different.
I have a system.
Yeah. Yeah. But so, just so you know, if you really want to go tinfoil hat, get a password manager, make sure every single password is randomized and different.
I think I am going to change the email password.
Yeah.
Though. And I've been hearing that an actual sentence is one of the best ways to go. Which,
yes.
I mean, the one I saw, you could have spaces, I space, whatever the words next was,
Yeah. If you can have spaces, those are good. If you can't have spaces, then just do it. Because
could you underscore, which is sort of a space.
But that's harder to type. It's harder to remember.
Yeah.
Just in the utility versus security, a phrase that is 36 characters long, unless they know you and know to use that phrase, which means, use something that you'll remember, but not that you say a lot.
And I think even with the punctuation, you get, a
different character. Sometimes they don't take
exclamation or well, but a lot of them do now. They want a special character, which are the top of the numbers.
But not
exclamation, @ symbol, hashtag, $, all those things.
But question mark and period are usually not allowed to be used.
Oh, interesting. I think I've seen question mark for at least one person's password.
Like I said, not all of them. But so completely randomized. Remember that way. But a phrase is good because the more complex a password is, the slightly harder it is for them to.
And complex being length of characters,
like a completely random set of 8 characters,
which that manager would create for you, right?
Right. A completely random set of 8 characters, and do not have the password manager create something of 8 characters. Takes about 11 weeks for them to crack. 6 characters can be done in less than a day.
Yikes.
And that's completely random, unguessable, except by just brute forcing it.
And that you just set up a program to check everything.
Even a phrase that is all lowercase, that is 36 characters long, takes over a decade.
Ah, interesting.
So, that's why the longer the password, the better.
Now, will that change if they get
better computers always? Oh, yeah. It'll always shrink.
Crowdsourced.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which means
but still,
that if you use a password manager and have a 36 character totally random password, you're in the centuries. It becomes immaterial.
I wouldn't use a common phrase like Mary had a little lamb, or it would be something. I would almost make it really personal, like the first dog I loved was
puppy barfs a lot. you know, it's something that you would remember, if but
We had a cat that
Yeah.
we could remember Lightning, the scarf and barf cat.
yeah,
Nobody guessed that.
yeah, lightning, scarf, and barf. No one would guess that.
Never.
It's
ever.
long enough, but which means, damn it, now I can't use it. But oh well. But so that's
You can do something else similar.
yeah. So
misspellings are pretty good too. Like,
Yeah.
remember you were talking about the one that you had? I was like, I'm like, wait, that's not spelled right. Even better.
Yeah.
Mariope, I think it was with the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and just different news sources. Security systems news.
You get a subscription for that, it looks like.
Yes, it's a free subscription.
Oh, cool.
Okay, not useful to most of you. Unless you really care about so-and-so bought so-and-so security company.
Oh.
That's what's mostly in here. Here's a profile on someone, someone who does security for some company.
But if you're really in it and
Yes.
you're really into it.
So here it is. Probably not useful to any of you. It's hardly useful to me, but I can occasionally find an article in here that's useful. Since we were talking about news, I figured I'd show this.
Very good.
And maybe I'll read it. It's a couple weeks old. I haven't touched it. That tells you something. Okay.
We sharing again?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So
thanks for letting me know.
So this is that good, bad, and the ugly.
Oh, right.
So the good news is that they shut down a couple of these botnets, and now you know why it's good that they shut them down.
Yes.
The bad, a proof of concept exploit was released for a critical remote control executable. Basically, it lets them load an executable onto a piece of equipment that lets them remote control it.
Okay.
In Fortinet, which makes firewalls, among other things.
Yay.
So.
Oh boy.
But here's the thing, is that everyone's looking at anyone who makes firewalls and security devices. They're all looking for flaws. It sucks that they have them, but there's no more people looking for them than there are people writing the software. So they found a flaw in it and created a proof of concept. Means that no one's really found it in the wild, but some researcher somewhere found it, wrote a quickie program to exploit the flaw, and then sent it to Fortinet and said, here's the flaw, here's the proof that because they have bug bounties.
Oh,
a lot of these companies have bug bounties. So you send it to them.
We'll have to do a show on that, on how that started.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a fun story.
Yeah. But so they've, at first they've claimed that they were duplicates of another flaw that they fixed, and then they found that nope, not quite. They're just similar. But so
the good guys found it and sent it in, and
they have.
They actually get paid for that, like in money.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
They don't announce it anymore. They don't announce it anymore, but it often are. They often are.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so
reward the good behavior.
The fix, in fact, they say that it's been patched.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sure.
It's been patched. Right here. It's been patched. And most of the time, I'll only see this once it's been patched and a week or so has elapsed.
Nice.
So that people have a chance of patching their equipment before the bad guys find out about it. Because if I can read this, the bad guy can.
Yes.
So they'll patch it and just hope people patch, in time. And
a lot of the computers will update themselves now. And
yeah, which means if you have a separate router other than what you get from your internet provider, look up the model, look up firmware updates, and patch the darn thing. If it's from your ISP, find out from them about firmware updates. A lot of ISPs, like ours, does automatic firmware updates. Good.
And that's
a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, that's Spectrum, right?
Yeah. But because firmware is what runs the hardware.
Mm.
Okay, and then here we get into the ugly, and this is stuff that isn't just bad and has been fixed. This is stuff that's still out there or shows that there's a vulnerability in a wide range of things.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone knows what Stack Overflow is, but it's a geeks forum. And someone created an info stealer and would answer questions on Stack Overflow, and the
It's a forum, not a Stack Overflow.
yeah, it's a forum.
Okay.
And so would answer questions and would often, after a while of making themselves known on the forum and trusted, would then offer this program to download that would solve that problem. And they'd give it different names, but it's all the same thing. And it basically gets on their computer, steals info,
Yikes.
and yeah.
That is definitely the social.
And yeah.
Social.
And steals cryptocurrency.
What's the word?
Social engineering.
Social engineering.
Yeah. And it steals cryptocurrency, which means that if you have a cryptocurrency wallet.
Whoa, I thought that was secure. It's supposed to be secure.
Yeah, except that it's sitting on your computer. It knows everything you're doing. If you access your cryptocurrency wallet, it just got the keys to that kingdom.
Not that secure.
Basically,
Okay.
if something's on your computer, if someone's on your computer, you're host, unless you don't do anything. Anything that you do, they see.
Wow.
So.
Well, that's part of why I do coded things. Like, so I have a list of different websites, and I name the passwords like iCrowd. I'll give you an example. iCrowd. I used to use a password for iCrowd. It's not the password, the word iCrowd is, but that was a website, and I used it to get it. It was kind of like an unusual password. And so I didn't want to post it there. I wanted to give myself a reminder. Oh, that's what that is. Like I have regular, I have secure, I have iCrowd, but they're not those particular words.
They're just clues for you.
It's a coded reminder to tell me it is this instead of that one.
Right. But that won't help.
It won't.
Because if they're on your computer, they can detect the keys that you type.
Okay. All right, but they can't just see it. I have to actually be actively typing it.
Right, yeah.
For them to get to that point.
Yeah. Or you have to copy and paste it because they can grab that too. But you wouldn't, but someone else might. Yeah, if they had a password list.
If you had a password list.
So,
but they could see it too.
Yeah. So if they get on your computer, you're pretty much toast.
And nothing's going to be perfect. No system.
Oh no.
It's going to be perfect, but I think the more you can do to help yourself.
Yep.
And not actually have those passwords written out.
Right. Yeah. Basically, there's a lot of lock jigglers. We used to have.
It's a code. I take it, right?
No, it's basically you would see people driving down the street. Someone hangs out the passenger door, and they'd reach out and jiggle the door handles of the cars as they go past.
All right, I see what you're saying.
And they only stop if the door opens.
Okay.
And so,
lock your car.
No. That can someone easily break into a car that has the door locked? Yeah, smash the window.
Yeah, but these were like
Slim Jim it.
Low-hanging fruit.
Exactly. People. That's where a lot of these people are looking for low-hanging fruit. So.
And they might even sit there and go, "Well, I'll teach you a lesson for leaving your car unlocked."
Yeah, but that's not it. They're in it for money. For most motivation is money. The state actors are sometimes motivated for political purposes, which is why a lot of reporters get hacked, a lot of diplomats get hacked.
Okay.
So a lot of that happens too.
Okay.
None of us are likely to get targeted.
Not directly.
Yeah.
Not directly.
Yeah.
But regular folks.
Yeah. But North
you
Korea,
might be.
Yeah. So, but a lot of these use it for funding. Iran uses it, both for political and for funding, because they're embargoed, so they want to get their money. North Korea uses it mostly for funding. They steal money.
Mm.
A lot of that is North Korea. China does it just as well. As long as we're doing this, we might as well get some money too.
Okay.
And China is North Korea, China, and Iran are the most state-run of all of the hacking groups.
Oddly.
Um, Russia is kind of state tolerated, and because as long as you don't hack Russians, they're okay with whatever you do. Oh, and
Yeah.
they might offer suggestions every once in a while for a target. You know, it's
Okay.
So yes, so that's but um, so but if you're targeted by the Chinese, the North Koreans, or the Iranians, it's likely to be government sponsored.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
okay.
Got another?
Yep.
One
more
moment,
news stuff.
There you go. It is
And
shared.
Cox modems. Cox is an internet provider
Yes.
in the U.S.
Right.
Researcher uncovers a flaw in Cox modems, potentially impacting millions. Basically, and it also shows one other thing. And it's a reason why we have a router that is separate from our modem. A lot of these places have a modem router. And that's because if someone managed to hack Cox, any of their IT support computers,
okay,
they can get onto the networks and personal computers of any of their customers.
Okay.
Which means that
so you're not targeted, but you're still the victim.
Which means that your ISP can get onto any of your computers. Okay? That's why you want your own firewall and or router between you and them.
Which we have here.
Which we have. There's a good reason for that.
Yeah, I see now. It's basically a gap. You've created a gap between the ISP and because computers.
Even if you trust your ISP, you then have to trust everyone employed by the ISP.
Well, you may trust them individually. As a group, maybe not.
Yeah. Or as a group, yes, trust them, but the individuals may not. Yeah. So, and that gets on to something else that I didn't bring up here, but I'll just tell you another piece of news that I saw.
Okay. Good.
A couple of people got caught hosting foreign nationals, as in North Koreans.
As in they had people in their homes.
No, they were. They were creating fake job listing or job, fake potential employees going to the job posting sites, sending in resumes. If they got hired, they'd sell access to that employee to someone in North Korea or China, so that then they would then pretend to be that employee, do remote work, get on their system, and have access to that company's system.
Bloody hell.
In fact, there was someone that was running what they call a laptop farm in their house. They had 24 laptops so that the person from North Korea could remote into that laptop and then remote from that laptop to the company. And so it would appear to come from that IP address.
Okay.
So they would be and it gets around our embargo of North Korea, but two, it allows them to commit espionage. It allows them to, do any kind of criminal activity against that company. So, so
there's a lot of companies that are pretty relaxed about their internet security.
Yes.
Until they get hit.
Yeah.
Sort of backwards, but Yeah.
The bigger companies less and less now.
That's good.
But yeah, it's still whenever they harden themselves, they go for whatever standards are popular, which means that they were standards that were created 5 to 8 years ago.
Okay.
so they're outdated when they start them,
Right.
and then it takes them a couple of years to implement. So you've got 10-year-old standards by the time it's implemented.
Okay.
Yeah, so not great. Um, so that was another
Plenty of
bit.
work out there
Yeah.
for someone like you.
Yeah.
Oops, wait.
Yeah.
Let me share.
Yeah. Here's one that is just okay. It'll catch the unaware. Fake browser updates. Basically, you get a web page that says there's an update for your browser, and it'll be the right browser because they can detect your browser.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so
I've
if it's
seen that.
Firefox or Chrome, the web page would say there's an update.
I mean, Google Analytics would tell me that when I was
Right.
in there
Right.
looking at it. I was like, wow, there's
No.
a lot of information here.
No, you click that button, and guess what? You didn't get an update for your browser. You got yourself some malware. Which,
yeah.
All browsers in the upper right corner will give you a notice that there's an update.
Oh.
Use that. They'll never show you a web page.
Can you demonstrate that on your?
Oh yeah, right here. It's.
So you got the X's and close it out. Okay, there it is.
Right
I think they call it the hamburger, but it's three horizontal lines. Go ahead and click on that. And
yeah. Now, if there's usually a red dot there, if it knows that there's an update. Sometimes it doesn't. So in order to check, you click on it. You go to Help, and then About, and it'll check.
Oh, and it just did.
Yeah, it'll check.
Firefox is up to date.
Yep. So that's how you find out if your browser's up to date. Help, About, and it'll. Now, some browsers, you have to click a button to say check for updates.
Oh, you know what? That didn't show up.
Oh, it didn't?
No. Oh, darn.
So it's not in the window.
Oh, wait, there was.
Oh, okay.
That's weird. It was like, and Cliff has a comment as well. Okay, that's there.
Help, About.
Nope, till it goes away.
Okay, so you'll be able to see it briefly.
Very briefly. Look, ready, steady. There it was.
Yeah. So Help and About.
Which they saw.
All browsers do that.
And Cliff says, "What about a VPN?" We actually just heard about that.
Yeah. Now,
someone who's I don't know what he was.
Right, but here's the nut. Good thing and bad thing about VPNs. They are useful, but they won't solve any of the stuff that I just described. Because what it does is it makes a tunnel from your computer, an encrypted tunnel from your computer to another computer, usually, your office or something. If you're using it for work, it basically makes it so that no one outside of your computer and the server in the office can read anything going on. That's great. It means that no one can intercept that conversation. However, if they've hacked your computer, they're on your end of the VPN.
And VPN, do you know what that stands for? I don't really know.
Virtual Private Network.
Virtual Private Network. Okay.
Basically, it's a way of making an internal network across the internet.
Okay.
By encrypting stuff. Basically, it means that only stuff that belongs on that network, can see each other.
Okay.
So it's good. It prevents a man-in-the-middle attack, or they want to be PC now, so they call it adversary in the middle. Although, how many female hackers are there? Not many.
Not many.
Mostly because the countries that have the most prevalent hacking are very male-dominated.
China certainly is.
China.
They made sure of that.
Iran. North Korea.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about Iran. They
probably come on. They're Muslim.
They don't have like a 50-50?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
I don't know.
No, and Russia is theoretically, more even, but quite frankly, the criminal element in Russia is almost all male, except for some specialists.
Okay. All right.
And they make movies about those that have nothing to do with reality. But so
that's movies are generally nothing to do with reality.
Yeah. So
you sharing again?
Yeah.
We sharing again?
Yeah, let's share again.
Okay.
So and here's the thing is that you have to click on the fake update. You have to click on the thing and it'll download update.zip. And then you have to unzip that and run it.
Wait, that sounds like a lot of you doing something.
Yes.
That sounds pretty easy to fix.
If you know to do that.
Okay.
So, this is just one of those spray it attacks and look for the fools.
Okay.
They
do more and more of those all the time.
Yeah. It's like that bogus ad that shows up that takes control of your computer screen and says, Microsoft has detected a virus on your computer. Call Microsoft to be, so that you won't be, disconnected from the network or from the internet or something like that.
There's no way to get rid of it, really.
Yes, there is.
Reboot the computer. That's what you should do.
Well, Control Delete will get up your menu. One of those menu items is Task Manager.
And that's on the keyboard. Control, Alt, Delete, all at once. Hold them all down at once.
Once you're in the Task Manager, find your browser, whack it. Boom, it goes away.
Yes, that's easy enough to do.
Now, if your browser is set to automatically open all web pages again, then as soon as you open that browser again, it'll come back. Two solutions for that. One, using a different browser, search for how to open up that browser in safe mode. It's different for each browser. So, I don't remember. I have to look it up every time.
And it could change. And you might as well.
Yeah, just look it up. The other thing is to wait a day or two, because the website that served that fake ad will have found out about it by there and whacked it. So, in a day or two, that'll go away.
Got it.
It'll solve itself.
Okay.
But, your best chance is, don't open that web page again, because it'll be the last web page, usually the last web page you opened.
Okay. You ready to share again?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. There you go.
Another one. Unauthorized AI is eating your company data thanks to your employees.
Far out.
And here, this is
Kids
not...
and employees are the weakest link in these.
Yes. Here's the thing where this isn't actually hackers so much as, the main big companies not playing nice. Because here's the thing. Anytime an employee, let's say, uses ChatGPT, that's just an example. It does it, but so do others. They take a contract and want to modify it for something and just throw it into ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT now knows.
Hello, thank you for the new information.
Yeah, now has
gobble.
The form of that contract. Now,
Yikes.
if you spent, $4,000 with an attorney to create that contract, ChatGPT now has it for free. If you have a product and you need to create, some text about your product, some little blurb about it for internal use, and you throw it into ChatGPT.
Not anymore.
Now, and you throw in all of the stats for it. Now ChatGPT has all of those possibly secret stats.
Oh my word.
So.
Yeah, any trade secrets? Don't play with ChatGPT or any other AI program. At least it sounds like
a lot of big companies have their own AIs. They'll have a licensed version of ChatGPT or OpenAI. Yeah, and it's basically nothing goes out from it, and that's good. It's not as robust, but it only has corporate information, so it doesn't have information from all over the world. But it has corporate information.
But it can't give it away either.
It can't give it away. But here's the thing. If your company doesn't have it, an employee might use ChatGPT. Or if your employee thinks that yours isn't robust enough, they might use ChatGPT. Or, so employees are leaking your data out. Most of us watching this won't be affected by it. But if you're one of those employees, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, here's the other thing too. Doesn't the user of the ChatGPT have to ask to get that result back, or can they
Yes.
just ask something generic
Well,
and get possibly
well,
potentially
yeah. Well, they're feeding
trade
it.
secrets from a company because it was
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
okay.
They can. You know.
Seems like it'd be
They can ask ChatGPT.
yeah.
What are the parameters of this, or what's a contract for this, and you get a contract that someone else paid for, and you get it for free.
Okay.
Um,
Not okay.
I suspect that in the next 5 years, any contract attorneys are out of a job.
Whoa.
Only trial attorneys are going to be left
Wow.
because an AI so far can't do that. But any contracts, the AIs are getting better and better at writing contracts.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd completely trust it though. I might start there and then get an attorney to, okay, what in here do we have to fix?
Smart people will do that.
Okay.
Those who would, go to NOLO, NOLO book to get their contracts.
Yeah.
One NOLO's out of a job now too. Because undoubtedly ChatGPT has all of the NOLO contracts.
That seems reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
So that is one of the things, and this is not something that's a hacker, but this is definitely information security.
Yeah, and if you're not setting everybody down.
Yep.
Same.
You have to not only tell them not to do it, you have to find some way to enforce it. And how you do that is a mess.
Stories. What was it? The one lady would still use the L for a number 1 on her keyboard. And no matter how many times you tried to, because one of my first jobs. Once
upon
a time, a typewriter didn't have
a 1 key.
The 1.
They didn't have a 0 either. It was an uppercase O. So those are 2 characters that she would do on a computer
every single time.
Which
messes things up. I mean,
because
it's not
you're trying to do a phone number and
it's an L.
Yeah. So I wrote the database for that company. I had to go through and here's the thing is that employee had so much stuff. Oh, let's see. I had
a Windows fake phone call, and I didn't even own a computer. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing. Call them and tell them you don't have a computer. See how long, call them. If you get one of those phone numbers, call them, see how long you can keep them on the line just for giggles.
There's some good videos out there.
If you've got the time, waste as much as their time as possible, because anytime that they're spending with, and I do it too, but anytime that they spend with you, it's time that they're not spending scamming someone.
And one guy will actually keep them online and hack into their system and delete all their files. That's pretty funny. Especially because you hear them. It's like, what? What's going on?
And here's the thing. The only reason why that guy's not in jail is because that was a foreign computer that he hacked into. If he'd have done that to someone in the U.S.
Well, he hacked back because they were already messing with his
let them get
files
into his computer, and he just ran a script that reversed that, that it was a reverse shell that let him.
All their files.
Well, and not only that, but
they were freaking out.
He did something that spanned their network and installed it. It was fake Pedia, which basically goes to every computer attached to your internal network.
Nice.
And whacks it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Aww.
so as gratifying as that is illegal. I love it.
Makes a good video.
But yeah. But
funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when people call me Cliff about, we have our own address here. It's an apartment, but it's not an apartment number address. It's not like, Suite B. And they'll call and it's like, oh, we would love to come and trim your trees. Well, I live in an apartment, so they take care of all that for me. Mm-hmm. Oh, bye.
Yep.
They're done.
Yep.
So yeah, just Oh, you
And
sharing again? We sharing?
yes, all
Okay,
of
here
this
we go.
bad news. Here's a bit of good news. Google Maps timeline data is, will be stored locally on your device for privacy.
Yay.
No longer stored on Google.
Yay.
Timeline is.
Yeah, what is timeline? What does that mean?
It means that when you've got Google Maps active,
Mm-hmm.
and especially on your phone when you're using it for navigation,
Okay.
it stores everywhere place you are and
Oh,
every place you're going,
real time? In real time?
real time, but it stores it. Now,
Okay.
that means that Google now knows every place you go, which means that
Yay.
someone that hacks them knows every place you go.
Yay.
And they got the wrist slapped probably by
Ooh.
European Union because they're real sticklers on, I mean, all of the best privacy laws originated in the European Union.
Yeah.
I might not like how socialist they are, but computer privacy laws, yay. Um, if we could slice off one bit of them, it'd be that, and just slap it on the
Okay.
U.S.
All right.
I would love that.
Okay.
But fortunately, their laws do filter in here, mostly because Google can't be bothered to write two versions of their software, and then be
Yay.
sure that their U.S. version is not used in the European Union.
Nice.
Because all it takes is one to get a really hefty fine.
Ah.
That then multiplies each time they get that same fine. So
Okay. Properly incentivized, they
right.
will fix that. Yay.
So your data is more private now, or at least that bit of data is more private. Yeah, they do store a heck of a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
But at least that part.
Well, that was their intention
locally
from the start. They wanted to have all the information.
Right.
Okay.
But now it also means that you can't like post your route on the internet. Like if you wanted to brag about how you went here, here, or here, or you do a travel blog and you can't show your route anymore. You just have to do screenshots of it. Because if you posting it would access a database of that information, which along those same lines, it's not new news. Fitbit. If anyone knows what a Fitbit is, you wear it on your wrist.
Very
it
popular.
Counts, and it accesses the
way too much information.
Well, and it uses Bluetooth to get to your phone
far out
to get on to the internet and posts basically where you are and so I don't like the use of Fitbit. I think the new versions of it, although I stopped caring about it a few years ago, but the new versions of it I think can only store it on your phone and not go out to the internet. And the reason I think they did this is because the military basically had to ban the use of Fitbit by any base personnel. Any military personnel were banned because people started noticing in these patches of desert, there's these rectangles of Fitbit use of people running laps around places with nothing in that desert. Now, can you say you just drew a circle around a secret base that now anyone can access? So they got rid of the Fitbits years ago, but
I could totally see the military saying,
yeah, internet connected devices. I don't like internet, IoT, Internet of Things.
Yeah, if your fridge can dial your grocery store and
IOIT, Internet of Insecure Things.
All right, Cliff came back with, no, they only wanted details and also told them I don't have a computer and still they tell me that they can see it and it's faulty. Just laugh at them.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and here's what someone did is he said, open Windows. Okay. And he held his phone next to the window and opened the window.
That's right.
They could hear it, but they didn't clue in.
Not for a while.
And okay, do you see this?
Nope.
No. How about this? Nope. I'm blind.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But and he actually wasn't lying, but yeah, but he kept them on the line for a long time. His goal, he sat around all day. He had time on his hands and he thought it was fun. Is if he could make them cry or swear, he was happy.
That's right.
So
what else you got? Anything?
Nope, that's it.
That was it. Yeah. Oh, all right. And that is really good news that they can't track you in real time.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I figured I'd end on a high note.
I love that. All right. And thanks for all the good comments out there. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So some stellar events this week. And we're talking about June 7th through June 14th. It's about the beginning of the month and first Friday of the month. I want to remind you that you can go to skymaps.com. That's SKYMAPS.com. Oh, do I have a thing for that? I don't know. I'll have to check. And download a free 2-page information PDF about what's in the night sky to look for. And we've done some past issues. I'll probably do it next month just to remind you that there's you can get it for Northern Hemisphere, for the equator, and for the Southern Hemisphere. So wherever you live in the world, you can find a skymaps.com map of the night sky and go out there and use it. And it's got a nice list to check off, to challenge yourself. Hey, there's one on there I've never found. I was like, I really got to find that someday. Oh, and you know what? It's also the Farmer's Almanac synopsis. I like to do those too if we have a little time. And we don't have too many things on the list to look for, so I'm going to go ahead and read it this time. All right, so some of these are past already because it is quite late in the month already at June 7th. On the 1st, already passed, at 4:30 a.m., look for the crescent moon halfway between Saturn and Mars. Both planets share the same first magnitude brightness. Due east on the mornings of the 2nd and 3rd, which we saw something in the 3rd. We happened to be up early in the morning, looked out the window, and I was like, oh, there's something. About 4:30 it was actually, wasn't it? And let's see what it was. 2nd and 3rd. Mars is the brightest orange star near the moon at 4:30 a.m. After the 15th, Jupiter returns as a morning star. Lots of action in the morning. There is one thing in the evenings. I believe it's Mercury, right? We looked at the thing. All right, and so let's see. After Jupiter returns as a morning star due east at 4:30 a.m. So if you're an early bird, you're in luck this month. On the 30th, Mars hovers halfway between the crescent moon and brilliant Jupiter, a sight best seen at around 4:45 a.m. Summer in the northern hemisphere begins with the solstice on the 20th at 4:51 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is the day when the sun is highest at midday, rises at its leftmost position. I don't understand that. And sets at the year's rightmost position. Yeah, that just seems weird to me. It seems like it would be better to describe it as the farthest north that it goes and the farthest, if it's north or south, not. Anyway, so there's a synopsis. And like I said, there's just a few things. June the 7th, the moon rides high. June 9th, Pollux is 1.7 degrees north of the moon. June 11th, Regulus is 3.3 degrees south of the moon. Then June 14th, we have a bunch of stuff. First quarter moon. Also, Mercury is in Superior conjunction. And it's Flag Day.
And the moon's on the equator.
Moon's on the equator. Oh, I skipped one. Moon's on the equator, and it's at apogee. Thank you. Sorry about that. On June 14th is also our Friday night show. I'm thinking about doing a profile again. It has been a while, so stick around, and we'll figure out who. Find us on Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel. So what inspires you the most for the coming week?
Okay, if you or someone you know has done something interesting and involved in space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, June 14th, and Pam will do a profile. Did you figure out who yet?
I think I'm going to do Jackie Cochran because she sounds very interesting. And not just because she's one of the people that helped start the Mercury 13th Mercury 13. Sorry. But she won all kinds of awards. She still holds some aviation records. Boy, there's a lot of good stuff out there about her. I can't wait to learn more and then come back and share with you in a week.
And
I got some people come
too. She may actually be Zephram Cochrane's ancestor.
That's sort of a fantasy thing, but yeah, I've got a couple of people that, from ISDC that we're talking to about being guests on the show. We just need to figure out some dates, some more people to contact from ISDC, and yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on out there. We found out when we were there a couple weeks ago, and oh boy, it is getting interesting, and almost nobody knows about it, so it should be good. Yeah, I saw that.
Cliff, you're talking about the guys calling you about your computer, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that. All right, so we had, let's see, who was here? Cliff was here, and Scott, and Bashir was here, and yeah, we're kind of missing Janie and Dawn, so maybe they're really busy or something. I know Janie's crazy busy for. It just blows me away how many things she does all the time.
Yep.
So, anything else from you?
Nope. I think I'm talked out.
You are? Wow. And we will watch for your comments later as well. But yeah, have a great week, folks. Yep. And we'll do a profile next week on Jackie Cochran.
Good night.
Good night. Where's the button? There it is.